Hey guys, I just want to do a little video on what I've been thinking about and noticing this week. And I think this will be really helpful for people who are stagnating in their GAPS or gut healing or histamine and healing. They're all kind of the same diet. If you're a lot of people that I work with, so I'm working mainly with histamine intolerant clients right now, and I'm loving it and I'm seeing so much success. And so I just want to share a little bit about what I'm seeing, and hopefully it'll help you have a better understanding of where you're at in your journey and give you some clarity. So this is definitely a very organic, unplanned chat. I don't have notes or anything, so bear with me. So normally when I start working with people who have histamine intolerance, the histamine is coming from a few places. It's coming from their body's inability to create DAO, which is our natural enzyme that breaks down histamine. So in our mucosal lining, sinuses, all the way into like our gut and our bowel, that's our epithelial cells, and they are meant to create DAO, which is an enzyme that breaks down histamine. Now, if you have histamine intolerance, one of the problems you're going to be having, I believe all histamine intolerance comes from the gut. And I have looked into this a lot. I have like a ton of research on it. And I've just seen such amazing success in everything I read. Even, like genetic forms of histamine intolerance show that gut is a contributing factor. Oh gosh, there's so much I could talk about. Okay, I'll try to stay on topic. Okay, so often when I work with people, so inability to create DAO is a huge one. So that's why people are often taking kidney supplements or specific DAO supplements, because their gut is not creating that DAO because it's damaged. They have a leaky gut. It's unable to create that DAO. And so as a result, their body is unable to detox histamine. Now, that's why people rely on those supplements, because they can take the supplement and it'll help bind to the histamine and get out of it. When you heal your gut lining. It is nourished, and then those enterocytes can create, those are like little guys on your gut lining, that mucosal lining. Then they can start creating DAO on its own, because your body is supposed to create enzymes to break down food. We are wonderfully designed. I'll say that 100 times. So when you heal the gut lining, our gut starts creating DAO because that's what it's supposed to do. Histamine becomes less of a problem. Also, as you heal the gut lining, foods stop leaking into the bloodstream, where a lot of your immune system kind of resides, closer to the bloodstream. So when foods stop leaking because you're healing the gut lining through GAPS, you stop having immune system responses, and your immune cells, your mast cells stop being so sensitive, and they stop releasing histamine when you come in contact with every single thing in the world. So it calms food allergies, it increases your DAO, it lowers your body's release of histamine because you're no longer reacting to everything because you heal the gut lining. And one other aspect of it is when you are rebalancing your microbiome through healing the gut, that your pathogenic bacteria and fungus and yeast and all that, the bad guys, they all release histamine. So when you start healing your gut, those guys decrease in number, and then your good bacteria increase in number. So yeah, the bad guys decrease and the good guys increase. And that means the bad guys that are releasing histamine, you have less bacteria releasing histamine, and you have more good bacteria that detox histamine. So healing your gut and healing histamine really works on like so many different aspects of your life. It decreases your sensitivity, decreases your histamine release, and it allows your body to detox histamine. And it also lowers your toxic burden, which takes a bunch of the burden off of your detox organs like your liver, your kidneys, your skin, your lymph. And so now those are able to properly detox, and you just don't have this buildup of histamine anymore. Like your body works super well. Okay, so that's the overview, and I've seen it work a ton, and I've read so much research on it that agrees with this. Okay, so there's even more I could get into, but we'll stop it at that. So it's really essential when I start working with people, sorry guys, I'm all over the place, but some of you like this. It's just like a shot into my brain. When I start working with people, I usually suggest they start with meat stock with very small amounts. This is not bone broth, this is histamine, small amounts, like an ice cube size, and you increase the amount every day. That's going to help rebuild your gut lining. So after we're doing that, then we can move on to probiotics. Now, the thing with meat stock and probiotics is a lot of people with histamine intolerance will go, oh, I can't do that. So I can't do this healing protocol because I can't have those foods. And I totally understand. And everyone I work with is in that situation as well. But when you start with small amounts of low histamine healing foods, it increases your capacity to have more histamine and to include more of those foods in your diet. So everyone's in that situation. You're probably not unique in saying, oh, I can't handle those. You start really, really small. And it's really important if you're on this journey so the reason I'm even doing this video is because I woke up to so many comments on YouTube about kind of the same thing. And I'm typing out the same thing over and over. And I'm like, I think this is a thing that a lot of people are confused about. Okay. So it's really important, if this is you, to watch my video on die-off. I have a video explaining die-off. But when I first work with clients and we're increasing meat stock and increasing probiotics, two things are happening. One is you probably are having a bit of a histamine response. So your body's releasing histamine because you're still reacting to foods. Your gut isn't healed. So you're still going to be reacting to foods that you eat. So your body will be releasing histamine and you'll still be sensitive. It takes a while to kind of calm that down. Not a while, but a bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight. The second thing that's happening is you're killing off all those pathogenic bacteria. So meat stock is super detoxing. It kills candida tentacles. It heals the gut lining. That's why when you take a sip, your lips will stick together of meat stock. It's like glue. It should be like that. So it heals your gut lining. And when we're having meat stock and or probiotics, we're killing off all this pathogenic bad bacteria in our gut. And when that happens, we have die-off. So die-off is basically you have a sip of meat stock, it goes in, it kills candida. And as candida is dying, it's releasing all these toxic gases. So in the early stages of healing histamine intolerance, you're probably having histamine release, which is causing symptoms. And at the same time, you're having die-off, which is causing those symptoms. And because basically they're both compounds that your body needs to get rid of. It's kind of like toxins that your body needs to get rid of. So it's going to be a very similar response. And often that's like your symptoms get worse, or you have mental health issues, or brain fog, or fatigue, or feeling achy. Some people get sinuses, they get diarrhea. We try to calm those things down. And that's why I usually, like, my protocols start super small in the meat stock, like an ice cube amount. Don't try to rush in, but you just need to get started. And as that rebuilds, your gut heals. And then you can tolerate more and more and more. Okay, but when you understand that your symptoms are coming from histamine release and die-off, then this is what I see. So people, usually when I start working with people and we start adding in those foods, most of their symptoms are coming from histamine because we're not actually including huge amounts of the foods that cause die-off, or very small amounts. So as the body is releasing all this histamine, we get supplements. But then, let's say a month in, I meet with that person again, or for the third time, and they're saying, oh, Heather, I'm still having histamine issues. I can't get over it. I'm still getting like rashes and all this stuff. And then when I look at their diet, I'm like, holy cow, you're having like a cup of sauerkraut, a cup of yogurt, you're having kefir, you're taking a probiotic, you're eating all these things you couldn't eat before. And yeah, they're having what they think is a histamine response, but it's actually switched from a histamine response to a die-off response. Let me know if you're following with me and you're understanding what I'm saying, or if this is, maybe I'll just delete this video if it's like, whew. I'm trying to keep it focused, but I don't think I'm doing a very good job. Okay. So initially, most of what you're going through is histamine because you're super sensitive to histamines. As the body heals, now you're not having as much of a histamine release because the gut lining is healing through that meat stock, but you are still having die-off because you're taking probiotics and things that are killing bad bacteria. So this can be a little confusing, but it's really important to notice because I will look at my clients and go, okay, yeah, you're having die-off. You're having like, I don't know, it's usually way less severe, like, yeah, itchy skin or eczema flare-up or something. But I go, do you remember 3 weeks ago, you could have 1 drop of sauerkraut juice and you would react like this? And now you're reacting like this when you have a whole cup of yogurt and like half a cup of sauerkraut and 5 cups of meat stock a day. So that shows, and if this is your situation, you're like, I'm still reacting, but you've also increased all these healing foods. This is showing that your response, now your histamine response is going down. You're actually healing from that histamine response, and now you're just having the die-off. And the die-off is good because it's actually changing your microbiome. And it is like, you're able to have all these healing foods. So my point is, if that's you, you will hopefully know, because you'll go, okay, yeah, I'm still reacting, but I'm having way more of these histamine foods than I used to. That shows that you're healing, and yeah, you're just having that die off. So if that's you, this is one thing I want to say that I found super helpful with clients. Die off is when you have either a probiotic or some type of food that is causing the killing of bad, pathogenic, or gram-negative bacteria or whatever. And it's releasing all those toxins, like I said. So when you release all those toxins, it puts a huge burden on your detox system, because it just basically gives your liver, your kidneys, your lymph, your skin, your lungs even, more stuff to get rid of. It's probably already overburdened, and now it's feeling like, oh crap, I gotta get rid of even more, and it can make you feel really funky. So to take the burden off that, if you're having die-off reactions, like I said, go watch that video on die-off, because I think that's really helpful. But if you're having die-off reactions, I highly recommend taking a good binder. So when you, let's say you have some sauerkraut or bone or meat stock or something, and it's killing off these bacteria and it's giving you foggy thinking, brain fog, fatigue, whatever, and you're just like, man, I can't cope. This is where a binder comes in and is so helpful. So binders come in, and they basically, you take them as a supplement, and they soak up all that toxicity that the pathogens are releasing, that you're killing off. So the good bacteria goes in, kills the bad bacteria, but the bad bacteria release all these toxins. And then you take your binder and it soaks it up so that your liver and your other detox organs don't have to process it. And it actually just pulls it out of your body. And I have seen such good success with this. There's a lot of reasons to be taking a binder, but if you're like plateauing and you're not able to increase your probiotic foods or your meat stock, and you're feeling like, man, I'm really not able to increase this, that is a great time to take a binder, because it will help you to get rid of those toxins so that you can increase the dose. And when you take a binder, I'll list a few of them first. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna jump back. Another good time to take a binder is if you're having really bad die-off, or you're not able to move forward, or you're stuck on a stage, like you're in the GAPS diet and you're stuck on stage 2 and you feel like you can't really move forward. So yeah, a binder, you would take a binder. So binders that I like are Bentonite Clay or activated charcoal, or even diatomaceous earth. I like to do diatomaceous earth not until the gut is like really healed. So if you're having like Crohn's or colitis or some sort of IBD where you're really having flare-ups and diarrhea and stuff like that, I wouldn't do the diatomaceous earth, because it can be a little aggravating. It's not super soft and soothing. It's a bit more irritating. And it actually kills off tons of parasites, so it can just be a bit much. But the activated charcoal comes in capsule form, and then the bentonite clay usually comes in a powder form. And what you do with the clay is you just mix a teaspoon into a glass of water and you drink it on an empty stomach. Activated charcoal is similar. You just take 1 or 2 of the capsules on an empty stomach. Now, it is important to take it on an empty stomach, because if you take it with food, it's just going to bind to the stuff in your food. And that can actually cause like nutrient depletion. So what I would recommend is, take your probiotic supplement or your probiotic foods with your meal or whatever you do. And then I would probably say to take that binder at night before you go to bed, a few hours after eating, or you can take it first thing in the morning before you've eaten, and then wait a bit to eat. And like I said, that's just going to go in and it's going to soak up all those toxins that are being released from the die-off, and it's really going to help your body detox better, and it's really going to calm all those crazy symptoms of making you feel better. I've had so many people recently with this issue, and I was just talking to someone at the coffee shop. He knows I'm a GAPS practitioner, so he was asking me questions, and he's like, man, I feel like I keep doing these detox protocols, and I get on detox protocol, feel terrible, and then I just like quit. And I was like, you need a binder. And so I'm like, gave him this whole spiel, and I'm like, man, everyone needs a binder. And this isn't probably something you'll take long term, but it might be when you're either increasing your probiotic dose. So like if you're taking a probiotic supplement, you want to increase the dose, but every time you do, you just get really bad die-off symptoms. You could try increasing it and taking it with a binder later that day on an empty stomach. Or yeah, if you want to even like introduce new foods. And I've even seen it be helpful with people who have big histamine releases. I haven't looked into a ton of the science on histamine release and how well binders work with that, but I know they work with they detox toxicity from the bad bacteria dying off. So, okay, I hope that's helpful for some of you guys. If you're plateauing, if you're stuck, if you can't increase your probiotics, you need a good binder. So good luck with that. I hope it's helpful. And these are really cheap supplements too. You can get them super cheap, but I'll put some links below if you want a little bit of further information.